Hey everybody, it's Tafony here once again, and today I am rambling about the patching Panda Operat. It is a 12 HP analog core oscillator with multiple individual and mixed output. It has VCA on board with the slider to mix in your different waveforms. Very cool. Before we get into all of that though, the quick housekeeping to get out of the way. I'm not affiliated with Patching Panda. This isn't sponsored by them or anyone else. I purchased this, or I traded for this locally here in Vancouver. I got it used. I am not a journalist. This isn't journalism. I'm not trying to sell it to you or present it for you or assess it or anything of the sort. I'm just trying to make a video blog of sorts with my journeys in hardware, synthesizer music, and more importantly than all of that, it sounds like this. So, what is the Operat? It is a 12 HP analog oscillator, and I want to get this right out of the way as we start. I am no subtractive synthesis expert, but I do think I can maybe give you some perspective going into an oscillator like this that might be valuable to beginners like myself, but I just want to say some cool things I like about this thing on board right off the rip. Like the mixing of waveforms is quite enjoyable to me. So start out with our sine wave. Nice and deep. So we got our sine wave, but then you bring in other waveforms. Yeah. And we do love a nice sine wave around here. This isn't going into anything just yet, but it will soon. We're gonna do lots of different stuff. Now the symmetry knob is interesting. I don't really understand where it is receiving it from out of the gate. And by out of the gate, I mean like it's not, nothing's patched into the symmetry input right now, so I'm curious how it works, but if you modulate it, there's some fun to be had. That's gonna be a reoccurring theme today, so if we increase this up, which we don't really want to do. I want to keep it as nice sub-frequency, bring in some other wave shapes. Yeah. Just fat analog tone. So we have hard sync, soft sync, I believe, and then we have PWM. Now if I mute my non-square wave shapes, I'm going to decrease my pitch a bit, PWM. Right now, this is how much width we want. Now, it is, unlike the Pony VCO per se, it does have a limit. It'll always keep it in audio territory. You can't use this by way of VCA by, you know, stretching your square wave too thin. Oh, I love PWM. I know I said this in the Pony VCO video, but there's just, I don't know. If it's a bald British guy thing, we're attracted to it. Okay, back to our sine wave. Bring some of that square in. It's a little, yeah. But I don't know, just get like complex waveforms are very easy to pull out of this thing right now. I'm not patching anything into the amplitude / ring mod input, so symmetry up, pitch up, and you can do FM or phase mod. So if I switch to phase mod, we're going to change the phase using this knob. And the specifics of that, you let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be some angry people that are going to say, why don't you understand the difference? But FM is for the pitch, but that means the symmetry of the FM. Now I don't understand, again, like, I'm not patching anything into the FM inputs, so where does this FM come from? Is it self-modulating by this triangle bass core that's not wave shaped? I don't know, but if we go to phase modulation, that symmetry knob becomes something else. Through zero knob, I don't think through zero knob is going to do anything until we patch something. That's correct. So, you know what an oscillator sounds like. Let's patch in some FM to explore that modulation. So, if we bring in our LFO from the Pony BCL, and I need to remember, oh, it sounds so good. Okay, we need to remember who's what here. So maybe we'll just run through with our triangle wave first, some different modulation sources. So pitch this up a bit so it's easier to hear. Now there's dedicated amplitude modulation for each of these. So if I patch in the LFO from the Brinso, I can individually control that output. Same for all of these. So you could independently make some voices by sending some gates here, or have some smooth motion between all of the different ones. Very cool. I don't have a ton of modulation sources to patch in all 4 of these, but if that's something that interests you, it is very cool. Again, I'm not super knowledgeable on the amplitude modulation stuff. Some people really think it's really nifty. I know there's some phase modulation stuff to be had there, but if we try a little, so let's, just on the triangle wave right now, let's do some amplitude modulation. If I turn it into ring mod, interesting how it, I guess where it lines up on the scope, it wasn't hitting the envelope. So if we do the global one, I think these controls come into play. So if we do that, yeah. So there's like dry, wet mix, amplitude modulation, ring mod. Interesting. Okay. So that's how that sounds. We do some symmetry in here now. FM shouldn't be patched to anything anyway. Cool. So let's do exponential FM overall. So do you want it to be in the middle? Do you want to be negative FM? Do you want positive FM? Let's do phase modulation now. Together through 0. Again, I like my FM audio rate because these are the sounds that I come for here. No filter. Yeah. It would be cool if there was CV control over the symmetry, because you could almost like add another layer, but no through 0 just yet. Maybe let's add some of that. That was through 0. And yeah, there's a debate for your complex oscillator if you want to do separate ones or not, and I think Operat really excels in these crazy territories. So let's bring in some other waveforms. Well, there's feedback territory. Yeah, look at that. Look at that go. Yeah. Aggressive sounds. Let's go. Ooh. You hit the pulse width. Just the right spot, yeah. Alright, amplitude ring mod again. And then just mod. I don't know what just mod means. What does just mod do? Oh, this is... no. Oh, no. Okay, PWM. We love PWM. Let's just bring in just the square wave. Slow down our LFO a little bit. Might need some attenuation for that one, for sure. I don't know. It's an oscillator. It's wild. So let's do a little bit more wildness with it. Oh, okay, sorry. I think... So right now this is amplitude modulation. Let's bring in our other wave shapes. So here right now we're in ring mod territory. If we bring the amplitude down, bring in more of the modulation, but I think if you modulate that, it will change the amount. Let's find out. I see a connection on the screen. Yeah, okay. So I think that's the same as the dry wax. Ooh, that's beefy. Very cool. Like I said, I'm no subtractive synthesis expert. I'm assuming the symmetry is the symmetry. I'm assuming these are the dry and wet mixes. I know a lot of you who are on a obscure synth tubers profile. You're probably a lot more knowledgeable than I am, but I hope I can show you there are some great sounds in here. Now, with that being said, let's take our output and switch things up a hair. We're going to run it through a VCA and a filter this time around, and we are going to take a CV gate pair and get that started here and send it a melody to give you some sort of fun ideas around what this thing can do in what would be like a real world patch example. So let me just bring up the Hermod here, generate a sequence and send it to that, hit play. Now I'm not sending pitch just yet, so let's do that for sure. Sending a pitch to our volt per octave input, which would be right in the corner here. It's a little high, so let's bring it down a hair. Forgive the shakiness. Need some oscilloscope changes here, see some decay. So we're just gonna start with triangle wave to keep it, you know, super simple. No FM, no craziness. That sounded a little dull. It's probably because I'm filtering it out. Yep. So this is Qubit Prism. I choose this because it's kind of digital and it won't, in light settings, it's pretty transparent as opposed to like a really like liquid analog filter. So I want to take the envelope of my VCA out just to move said filter a little bit though. So yeah. Just so we can hear it, I'm going to turn down the BPM a little bit. So that's just our triangle wave. Let's do some noodling. Let's bring in our sine. Wake up our oscilloscope so you can see what's happening. Bring in some of that ramp. Square. Messing with the symmetry now. I do want to bring this down a little bit. Oh, I love PWM. So let's maybe we'll modulate the pulse width. Yeah. I love PWM. Okay, let's just hear that square wave. Yeah. So good. Now I think we can... Sorry. We can through zero the square wave. Yeah. That's actually really cool. Okay. Send it positive. Hard sync it. I think I have to send it sync input to change the sync. Maybe phase modulation? Oh, that's cool. Almost some like B-esque super saw waveforms out of a square wave, which I really like. And the triangle wave. Bring it all in. Yeah. Get a little liquid. A little bit of comb. A little bit of delay on there. Do some comb. Yeah. Sorry, that's what I'm hearing when I hear a complex waveform like that. I'm thinking like, yeah, some comb. So, with that being said, let's try and do some of the amplitude modulation. If we bring in and out our square wave slowly, you can see on the light how quick it's moving, which is cool. I'm going to give it some more amplitude just so it's accentuated what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, analog oscillators, you are familiar with them. They all have a little bit of different flavor, and these are sort of the little different flavors that the Operat has, and I really like it. I don't have a ton of experience with different analog oscillators to compare them to. Like, I think complex oscillators kind of are my jam, and this thing can get very complex in a non-Buchla-esque layout. So, oh, hello. We're in the exponential FM. Interesting. Yeah. It's a super, like, additive, right? Those waveforms are... But when you get super crazy, I like to kind of rely on the filter a little more, so let's... Yeah. No, this oscilloscope is before the filter. Keep that in mind. But yeah. Is that... No, that's not the resonance. Something's feeding back. Yeah. I mean, this is the fun of modular, right? Just throwing a million modulation sources at a million other... Like an oscillator to oscillator to an oscillator to an oscillator. We're having fun. Alright, let's try one other filter, and then I'm going to do a example of a real jam. And, yeah, I think this thing is great. If you have... I used to have the SSF Zephyr. I think that's kind of something similar to this. I really like that one, and not that I'm any expert now, but I think at the time I was just like, this is way beyond my level. And now I'm kind of feeling less intimidated and enjoying this, but I'm curious what your thoughts are to compare the Zephyr or any other analog oscillators to this one. What do you think? What do you prefer? Let me know in the comments or email. I'm not trying to hunt you down for engagement. I just am curious genuinely. So, all right, now we're going through an analog filter. Yeah, okay. Yes. Oh, this analog filter. Let's just do a quick filter sweep just because I... not Operat related, but still very nice nonetheless. And yeah. You can internally patch this too, just FYI. Like, consider that if you get a dedicated output of the triangle wave, you could use that to do your own FM. Maybe not. Maybe that just causes feedback. But amplitude modulation? Maybe? No? Anyway. Ooh. Yeah. Filter again. Alright. Sorry. Like I said, I'm no subtractive synthesis expert, but Operat's a great analog oscillator, and if some of these features like the mixing and the dedicated outputs and the FM possibilities in a single oscillator are appealing to you, then fill your boots, I guess. Alright, I'm Tafony. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.